Let's just cut right to the chase. If you're using the exact same cover letter strategy you used a few years ago, you are literally throwing your job applications into a black hole. In this explainer, we're talking about a massive shift. The days of finding off some generic, copy-pasted document, they're officially over. Today, we're diving into the absolute new gold standard for cover letters in 2026 and exactly how you need to upgrade your game to actually get hired.
Okay, let's dive into this because honestly, is there anything more frustrating? You spend hours agonizing over an application, you finally hit submit, and then absolute crickets. Nothing. Why does that happen? Well, chances are you might be relying on that classic find and replace generic template. You know the exact one I'm talking about, where you just swap out the company name and maybe update the job title. Look, our source text is brutal about this. Recruiters spot this from a mile away. It practically screams that you lack genuine interest, and yep, it gets your application instantly deleted. But don't worry, we're gonna fix that right now. So here is our game plan for today. 1. The end of generic letters. 2. The 5 crucial elements of 2026. 3. A brilliant little news research hack. And 4. The ultimate AI prompt. Section 1. The end of generic letters. Think about the old standard for a second. It was just taking the exact same block of text and blasting it to 50 different employers with a new company name slapped on top. As we just said, recruiters see right through that. But here is the critical pivot for 2026. AI has made personalization virtually effortless. And because it's so incredibly easy now, the baseline standard has absolutely skyrocketed. Recruiters don't just want a polite to whom it may concern anymore. They expect a letter that shows highly specific knowledge of their company, the exact role, and a foolproof argument for why your background is the perfect match. You just can't fake it anymore. You have to bring the proof. Section 2. The 5 elements of 2026. Now, what's really interesting about this framework is how completely it redesigns the cover letter from the ground up. Our sources lay out a strict 5-step structure for high-performance applications in 2026. Step 1, a company-specific opening. Step 2, a match statement. Step 3, a signature achievement. Step 4, AI skill positioning. And finally, Step 5, a highly specific call to action. Let's break these down so you know exactly how to pull them off. It all starts with how you hook them and position your value. For the opening, you have got to reference something highly specific about the company. We're talking a recent announcement, a brand new product launch, or a specific piece of their mission that genuinely resonates with you. You have to prove, literally in that very first sentence, that you did your homework. Then you transition straight into the match statement. This is where you explicitly map your background directly to what they need. The formula is beautifully simple. My background in X directly addresses your need for Y, particularly this specific responsibility. Boom, it removes absolutely all the guesswork for the recruiter. Okay, next up is your signature achievement. And please, whatever you do, do not just list out a bunch of generic duties you had at your last job. Our sources are super clear on this. This needs to be the single most relevant result from your entire career. You want to format this using the STAR method, situation, task, action, result. And it absolutely must be backed up by a hard metric. But here's the catch. It shouldn't read like a boring, dry report. It needs to be a compelling, punchy 2 to 3 sentence story. This is where you really inject your unique professional DNA into the mix. Wrapping up the framework, we have the final 2 elements. Listen to this, because it's a real sign of the times. In 2026, explicitly mentioning your AI skills is practically mandatory. Employers in every single sector are hunting for AI-capable candidates, so you've got to put those skills front and center. Finally, your call to action needs to be laser-targeted. Ditch that old generic, "I look forward to hearing from you." Instead, close with a specific offer. Say something like, "I would really welcome the opportunity to discuss how my experience with this specific skill could contribute to this exact team or project." Okay, now let's look at a totally game-changing strategy for actually finding all this specific information. Section 3, the news research hack. Our source text makes a massive claim here. It states that using this simple company news research hack instantly sets you apart from 99% of applicants. Just let that number sink in for a second. By spending literally 2 minutes executing this hack, you jump ahead of almost the entire applicant pool. I mean, we are talking about the absolute highest leverage 2 minutes you could possibly spend on your job hunt. So, here are the exact tools and queries you're going to use to dig up those juicy details for your opening paragraph. First up, Perplexity AI. It is amazing for current news. Just drop in this simple prompt. What has this company announced, launched, or achieved in the last 6 months that would be relevant to someone applying for this specific role? Seriously, it does all the heavy lifting for you. Or alternatively, you can use Notebook LM.
Just upload the company's latest annual report into Notebook LM, and you can instantly extract highly relevant strategic initiatives to reference in your letter. Finding that one hyper-specific detail, that is your absolute golden ticket. Section 4. The ultimate AI prompt. And this brilliantly illustrates how everything comes together into one actionable tool. The source provides this incredible, comprehensive prompt structure. Basically, you paste in the job description, your resume bullets, and those couple of sentences of recent company news you just found. But pay close attention to the tone parameters here. The prompt explicitly tells the AI to be professional, confident, and specific, not generic, and definitely not sycophantic, so no weird over-the-top flattery. By keeping the length super tight at around 4 to 5 short paragraphs, capping it between 280 and 350 words, and feeding your unique star-powered achievements into this system, you generate a letter that is literally perfectly engineered for the modern recruiter. So, you now possess the complete 2026 blueprint. You know for a fact that generic letters are dead and buried. You know the 5 crucial elements that actually prove your value. You've got that 2-minute news research cheat code to hook them right from the start, and you understand the exact AI prompt parameters to generate an absolute masterpiece. Yes, the barrier to entry has definitely been raised, but you are now perfectly equipped to clear it with room to spare. You have all the tools right here to stand out from 99% of the competition. So the only question left is, what will your next cover letter say? Thanks for hanging out with us for this explainer. Now get out there and land that role.